One question that has been surrounding the Cleveland Browns this offseason is what is going to happen with quarterback Baker Mayfield. Many people believe that he is going to be cut from the team, and I will say that I do subscribe to this train of thought. The benefits for keeping Baker Mayfield around this locker room are very, very, very marginal. I mean, he's been proven to be divisive in some capacity. He is expensive, and he's not going to see very much playing time if he sees any at all. I mean, the Browns would be paying him $19 million dollars to sit the bench, essentially. Oh, and also, before you say, or before anybody says that, well, if you're going to be paying if the Browns cut him, they're going to be paying $19 million dollars anyways, so what's the benefit in cutting him? Well, he would be much, much, much less divisive in the locker room if he was not in the locker room at all. So, no matter what you do, you're going to be eating that $19 million dollars. But if you cut him, then you don't have to worry about the division that Baker Mayfield could potentially cause. Now, the real question is what team would sign him, if anybody would pick him up should the Browns cut him. Early on, I heard talks that the Steelers might look into signing Mayfield if the Browns cut him. I'm just going to squash that right now. I don't see that happening. The Steelers just got Mitchell Trubisky. It's apparent that they are going to be running with him. Also, the Steelers just drafted Kenny Pickett, and they've got Mason Rudolph, I believe. So I just would not see any benefit in the Steelers picking up Mayfield. And they've already got a really, really crowded quarterback locker room. And maybe you could liquidate. Maybe you could liquidate Mason Rudolph somehow and trade him to someone who's looking to tank or something. Now, are there teams that I think could benefit from signing Baker Mayfield? Yeah, I mean, there is a small handful of teams that I could see picking up Mayfield. This group would include the New York Giants, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Carolina Panthers. Now, I'd like to go over my thoughts on why I think each of these three teams could benefit from signing Baker Mayfield. So we're going to start with the New York Giants. The Giants are nearing the end of Daniel Jones's rookie contract, and this over the course of his career, Daniel Jones has not looked good at all. I mean, you've now got the new general manager saying that he just wants Jones to put it all out on the line, see what he's truly got. And that tells me that the Giants and Jones have not been on the same page. It tells me that they have not been on the same page with Jones's ability. I mean, to be fair, I can't say I really blame them because or I can't say that I'm surprised because they did have Jason Garrett and Freddie Kitchens on the same offense. Not a winning combination, but I was never a huge fan of the Giants drafting Daniel Jones to begin with. I thought that draft was way out of left field. And as I just said, the way that Jones has played in the NFL has not been very well, or has not been very well received by many Giants fans. Now, Jones is more mobile than Mayfield, so so in theory, Jones could extend the plays much better than Baker could, but they're both very, but both quarterbacks are prone to turning the ball over. Jones is prone to fumble the ball, and Mayfield is prone to throwing interceptions. So over the course of their careers, the only category that I can say Daniel Jones definitively is better than Baker Mayfield at is mobility and extending plays. Mayfield's been absolutely horrible with his mobility and extending plays throughout his career. All right, so next I'd like to talk about why I think Mayfield could go to the Buccaneers. So the Buccaneers are going to be looking for a new quarterback very, very soon because Tom Brady has, one more year on his contract before he's gone and retires. I mean, yeah, you're going to need somebody. So Mayfield could be an option for the Buccaneers. I mean, he'd be there if they really want him, and he's had some playoff experience. He has he has some experience with winning, and I mean, yes, it's true that he's been mediocre or winning percentage wise over the course of his career, but I still contribute some of that to Hugh Jackson being an absolute horrible coach. Same with Freddie Kitchens. Now I'm not saying that Mayfield is free of blame there, because, well, he's not. He's simply not. But also, I don't think the stats tell the complete story of Mayfield's career. So maybe the Buccaneers could get him could get him quite possibly, yeah. Now the last team that I'd like to talk about that I could see getting Mayfield would be the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, the Panthers are paying about the same for Sam Darnold as Baker Mayfield is getting paid for by the Browns. That being said, I still think that Baker could be an upgrade at the quarterback position for the Carolina Panthers. So last season, Mayfield threw 12 more passes than Darnold, had 10 more completions than Darnold, was marginally better in completion percentage wise, but he had about 500 more yards than Darnold, with 8 more touchdowns. But Mayfield was also sacked an additional 8 times that when compared to Darnold, because once again, Sam Darnold is or much like Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold is a much more mobile quarterback than Baker Mayfield, and so Darnold would have less of an issue extending plays and less of an issue with sacks. Now that being said, Mayfield has played in 2 more games than Darnold, so maybe that could adjust for some of the stats, quite possibly. Now, one thing that I'd like to point out is when Darnold was with the Jets and they had Adam Gase. Adam Gase was actually willing to admit that they may have screwed up in the development of Sam Darnold. And I fully back this statement. I mean, yeah, Sam Darnold was touted as being possibly one of the best quarterbacks that could be, or quite possibly in the history of the NFL, at least at the time. And well, the Jets did practically nothing with that. And Mayfield had a somewhat similar beginning. And I mean, you could tell that he was that well, not only he but the entire team was struggling under Hugh Jackson, and well, Hugh Jackson didn't come out and say that he may have screwed up Baker Mayfield, and it wasn't until Greg Williams started running the ship that Mayfield showed that he could win games. And then Freddie Kitchens did nothing to benefit the development of Baker Mayfield. So, on the one hand, you have one organization admitting it, or somewhat admitting their fault, and you've got another organization that is pretending like there is no fault in what they did to develop their number one overall pick. So, at the end of the day, I still think that Baker could be an improvement over Sam Darnold for the Carolina Panthers. If they were willing to pick up Baker once he is most likely cut from the Browns. Alright, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, share this video, share all my videos. And I'll catch you all next time. Bye.